So that should be working now, guys. Hello everyone, who's more time for all the different animes, right? Of course, last season here, 2025 fall anime season, right? We're gonna do it, guys. So we're gonna go over like how say it. We're gonna start with popularity. So I usually do each season, right? We use the live chart here, and we're gonna go down the list, right? All different animes, discuss them, talk about them, right? Are they gonna be good? Are they gonna be terrible? And so forth, right? I'm gonna see, what I react to, what I review someone, but also generally guessing like what would be popular or what not, right? And it's also with One Punch Man. We order after popularity, which honestly I don't actually buy. I mean, it's like poor Saitama, but I actually don't think this is the most popular anime. Kind of weird how it is rated as that, honestly. Yeah, I'm not really buying it, to be fair. No, I'm just being honest, guys. I'm like, is that really the most popular anime season? Honestly, when I start, I'm just like, wait, what? One Punch Man? No, but in all seriousness, I think One Punch Man, it's a good anime. I do really enjoy it, right? Season 1 is a fantastic anime, and I suppose that, what would I say, right? I suppose that, like, I wouldn't know how do you phrase it, but I guess it is actually, maybe is the most popular anime because of, like, mainstream casual audience. Tourist people? No, but seriously, I guess that One Punch Man might be the most popular anime, given that at least the first season had a lot of people, right, watching it, that otherwise wouldn't watch anime. People that are into like Spider-Man, right? Some Spider-Man cards here, sort of people there, right? Stuff like that. People that are into maybe like, Marvel and DC and so on, right? Would watch One Punch Man, because it's mostly, I mean, obviously those parodies in anime too, but yeah, it is a lot of parodies, like on the general concept of superheroes. So maybe they were like, oh yeah, they watched it, and maybe that makes One Punch Man actually the most popular anime in total. I'm sure it's not the popular anime among like hardcore anime fans, though, not certainly not. But I really like One Punch Man, but season 2 was obviously much weaker, and I don't think it is. Some people say it's weaker, right, because of the animation and whatnot, right? But in my honest opinion, I think actually mostly was the storytelling that wasn't that interesting in the second season. The whole tournament arc, which again I guess was very anime, but it's like the tournament arc was like, I don't know. But I do have more hopes for season 3 though. I haven't read the manga, but I do feel that at the end of season 2, that feels more like, okay, now stuff's gonna happen, right? I think that's the problem with season 2, is like you have to sit there waiting for the real, stuff to explode, like, oh yeah, now everything is gonna come in here. You're kind of waiting for that moment to feel, right? And in season 3, I think that's hopefully where it's gonna start, right? I think season 3 is gonna be a better, like, like a story bits or whatnot, right? I think so. But obviously, then I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna react to it. Now, if I remember correctly, though, and I don't think I saw a trailer either for that matter, because I will say this thing: if I remember correctly, I don't know what it says here, but I do think it has, how to say it? If I remember correctly, One Punch Man has, what's it called, like copyright issues. Yeah, let me just see if I can find it here, guys. I think that is an issue, though. Yeah, like I said, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think it is, yes. I have a list, guys, right? So I have a spreadsheet I'm looking at now, right? So I run this whole spreadsheet system, so I always know what anime is not talk about or whatever, right? But, yeah, I do remember last time it aired that I didn't, like, show too much of that anime, because I do believe it has, like, copyright issues. So that would be interesting later on. But a side note, how I will react and edit and so on. But anyway, Gashukata, this is an anime that is currently airing, and I think it's pretty good. I reacted and reviewed to the first bit of it. It's like trash anime. Everyone has trash powers. No, but they have like an item, and they can, like, if they really love this item, like this broomstick, they can fly on it or whatever, right? Or like a gun or something, they can shoot with it, power bullets. Pretty good main character. I like how I think I liked him a lot early when he kind of had like an actual good character development scene, certainly. And pretty decent call it pretty decent, like how's it, party members. But they are kind of tropey. I have like a frostlippy. They are kind of tropey because it is like, oh yeah, that obviously catchy, the mentor guy. Oh, that's that's the girl that he's kind of fall in love with and so on. Oh, that's the guy that's more serious. It is very tropey because the guy is like one guy, he's like the Sasuke, right? He's a little more cool, a little more collected, and so on. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Absolutely. Here we go. Oh god, Anya. I had a whole folder for Anya, guys. I was doing yesterday, I was doing the thumbnail, right? And I have this whole like collection. So I went to my PC, of course, right? And I was like but searching on PC for like the thumbnail Anya, right? Which is this one. But while doing so, I also used, I think it's just funny, right? Because I also like, I also just found out, how many images, right, that I have, saved for Anya over the years, right? This kind of stuff, yeah, because I could have taken images of Anya, during the, earlier episodes, right? Yeah, so it is always really funny how there's just so many. I mean, let's be honest here, she's like a reaction-based character. Yeah, there's so many cute, adorable Anya images that you can love, right? She's so adorable, man. She's just the ultimately cute daughter character. Most wholesome anime ever. But I was laughing seeing all the images. No, and I was like I said, so when I made the thumbnail, yeah, I used to I have to get an Anya image, right? And I knew I had someone on my PC, so I was like, oh yeah, I got 500 of them. Anya's everywhere, yeah. Anya kawaii, yeah, Anya kawaii, and like the Daipinchi and so on. Cliche and Daipinchi. No, but obviously, Spy's Family and 3. That is arguably one of the anime Academia kommer soon, but Spike's Family, of course, is probably one of the biggest animes, I think, next season, right? Like I said, it's probably my number 2 after My Academia, the final season of the year. Yeah, what can you say, right? It's just a beautiful anime. It's just really funny, it's wholesome, it's comedic. And the movie was great. I don't feel I have to explain too much. I feel everyone kind of knows what Spy Family is. But if you haven't seen it, right? It's about this like cute little girl being adopted by this spy, and she has to, of course, go into this school to try to like befriend these like, I guess, like a military contractor's weapon second son or something. But and then also has like crazy assassin mom, right? And then there's like a lot of hijinks happens, but it's just super adorable, super fun. It's also really well done, though. Yeah, I mean, not that it's purely based on animation, but it also looks really amazing. So I think part of the comedy, right, is the absurdity of like you're playing tennis, right? And the ball is getting destroyed and so on. But honestly, I mean, sure, the manga looks fine too, but you have to be honest with the anime is really, really high quality, and some of these like ridiculous fight scenes, right, with like a sport fight or whatever, obviously looks ridiculously good then when they have some weird animation over it. But yeah, it's probably gonna be my number 1 and number 2 this season. And what can I say, right? Saturdays overall are crazy because we have Spike's Family, and then we have One Piece Sundays, but where is it then? Here it is, surprisingly for now. Of course, we also have My Academia, right? So these 2 animes, I think, are the number 1, number 2, and they both air on Saturdays. Then, yeah, they both air at the same time, which I think has happened before, honestly, because My Academia always airs on like early Saturdays. Spike's Family is like 6 hours later, 5.5 hours later, depending a little bit, but usually they air at the same time. So they had the same air date. I'm pretty sure they had the same air date on the same day, like 2 years ago, something like that. But anyway, super hype, man. Jesus Christ. I love My Academia. It's like one of my all-time favorite animes, right? I think the most fun anime. I'm gonna cry so much, guys. I'm gonna cry so much. And Dower or whatever. I'm like, oh, yeah. Then Dower see me Davi lessons. I was like, oh, daddy. No, it's so good, man. I'm really, really excited to see how it ends. Even though I have, of course, been spoiled the whole Deku working at McDonald's. Yes, I haven't read the manga, right? I have read the manga earlier, but I haven't read the manga in the last bit there, and I think no one has been able to escape the whole, like, you know, Deku works at McDonald's or something. Yeah, that whole meme thing. But my favorite part of that is like Deku and ordinary woman, though. You know, Yosai, yeah, Yosai Onna, whatever her name is, right? Ordinary lady kind of woman, yeah, the giant woman with a tick, right? I just love when I have something on my PC for that. Let's see. I think I have something with her. Let's see. You know, have find something that is not. I think I have something. I made a video. Okay, so you know. Oh, what was that? So a few months ago, I made a video about that whole meme thing, right? Because it was so much stuff. People hating on Deku, right? And then some other guys made this. You know, there's some other guys. So first, people hated Deku, right, for the ending. So I know the ending is kind of, like I said, hated on. People didn't really like it, right, because it was so kind of basic. But I've been spoiled. I don't know exactly, but what I've been spoiled on, though, I don't think it sounds that bad. I mean, I get people angry over it, but it's like, you know, he's like, oh, it's pretty basic conclusion, right, for Deku or whatnot. But there was this trend, right, started happening. Then the people were basically defending Deku, arguably. So they started doing this, like, you know, ordinary woman art, right? With Deku like getting married to Deku's like getting married to like ordinary women all the time, and Urikara being yelly and so on. So I can't find it. I have it somewhere on my computer because I made a video about it, but I found it so funny. I found it so hilariously funny. An ordinary woman. So yeah, her name is Ordinary Woman, right? Super weird name. Here it is. Okay, I found one image. I love this trend. I love this trend with macadamia. Here we go, yeah. I love this trend. I love it so much, guys. I love this trend so much. It's so funny, right? It's so funny. So we have, again, like I mentioned, right? We have the final episode, right? Final episode is coming up, you know, of macadamia. Final season, I mean. Sorry, which is the one I am the most hyped for, right? Yeah, but like I said, you know, I heard how it's gonna end or whatever. To some extent, I heard it, right? But I like the content trend. People were like the content trend, yeah. People were like, "Oh, Deku is a terrible ending," and then some guys are doing like this art of like ordinary woman married Deku and have a kid or whatever, right? And it's always that Urikara is like angry or something in the background, and Minetta, I guess, has a good ending too. It's just hilarious, man. I love it. And there was so much art, right? And then more people. But the funny thing of this thing, I think, mostly is one guy, right? He's just like, I'm on a mission to make Deku have a good ending, right? So he's not doing this stuff, right? And then other people are like, oh, I will help you out. So like 10 people are drawing, you know, like Deku with ordinary woman getting married and so on. Yeah, it's hilarious. Oh, I love it. I love it so much, guys. Jesus Christ. Oh. But yeah, My Academia, right? Number one anime for me. Next season, definitely. I hope it's up with Ordinary Woman. No, but it's funny, man. It's funny. She's so thick, but she's this giant thick lady too, which is hilarious whole thing. But otherwise, I mean, this whole last season should be a fight, right? We're already at the final battle. Like spoilers if you're up to date, but it's basically just the whole last season was mostly just fighting the last two bad guys. I don't know why I'm trying not to spoil it, but you get my point. Yeah, like, they're fighting the bad guys, right? And now we're gonna conclude it. And I actually don't think it's gonna be even 12 episodes. That's what I read at least. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's check it out. It says here. What it says here? Because I don't think it's even gonna be unsure. Yeah, I think I read somewhere at least that it won't even be like a full season, right? And that wouldn't surprise me because obviously last season, because I read to it somewhere, right? It ended in the middle of fight, right? It's like Mecha Might coming up there, All Might's like, let's go, right? He's on the, yeah, see Mecha Might there, you know, he's like coming up there, I'm gonna use all my money to build the suit or whatever, right? And then it ends. So, you know, if it's like, I don't think it's gonna be like 5 more episodes, right? But I've heard it's gonna be 10. That's what I read in some news earlier this year. It's gonna be 10 episodes. But again, that wouldn't surprise me, because like I said, it ended in the middle of a fight with Mecha Might, right? So, who knows how much left it is of the actual conclusive fights. I don't think, I wouldn't say that it is perhaps as much left, right? So yeah, I don't know about that, guys, but I'm excited for that. Now I did jump over this a little bit, so it's making talk about the Spice Family and so on. So Todome Skill, this is Amazon guy. This actually was a pretty good isekai, so I've seen it, right? I think I reacted to the first episode from Mappa. This anime, I actually think is pretty good. Is it the best isekai ever? Is it the quality of, Zero, Mushoku whatever, right? No, not at all. But this is one of those isekais where I feel like it's a pretty good isekai, It's entertaining, it's enjoyable, but it's not like changing my opinion about life or something, right? But basically, it's an isekai about a guy. It goes to the fantasy world, as most isekai are, and he can basically shop stuff on like Amazon. He has like magical powers to buy stuff, right? And by doing so, he can cook really good food. So he befriends, like the Fenris Ulven or whatever. He befriends like the giant wolf, similar to like level 2 sheet, right? Like Fenris Rishan, right? Yeah. So he has his own wolf bromance in this anime. And the wolf is very powerful, basically. But it's an anime where I guess like if you eat stuff, you get more stats, like in World of Warcraft or whatever, right? So they also get powered up and so on. And then you kind of go around and just do kind of wholesome. It has its own Sue, right? It has its own like slime girlfriend and so forth, right? So it's a pretty cute anime. But like I said, I would recommend it, but I recommend it as in the mindset is like, this is an entertaining anime, right? This is funny, some funny jokes, some comedy, yeah, but it's some wholesome moments. But it's no like, oh my god, so incredible, well written with this amazing depth and scenes and so on. And so far at least, it's also no like tragedies, right? It's just an anime that's like wholesome, right? It's an anime where everything's just kind of positive, and back there are the goddesses. And they're a little bit like Aqua and so on. Yeah, she's drunk. But she's a little bit Aqua, yeah. She's kind of useless goddess that he keeps fighting with and so on. Not in the party though, but she kind of talks to them and annoys them and so on, yeah. So, similar to that, right? It's a pretty good show. Sorry, I just remember where I put the chat now. Let me just get a bit sorry about that. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, welcome. Sorry. Sometimes it's like it's classic, but you move around a little bit, right? Now, here comes an anime, and I'm so tired of these anime guys, I'm so tired of these animes. This is, I'm just an assassin, but my stats are higher than the hero. Ansatsu de or no status, right? Yusha means hero, yeah. Yusha yori no, but are my stats too high, or my stats are higher than the hero? I don't remember the English title for it now, but you can read the Japanese. but I do like that the word assassin is almost the same as ansatsu. Yeah, ansatsu is the same as in, almost the same as in English, right? Assassin, ansatsu, and this is the important word yusha. You hear the word yusha all the time in anime. That means hero, right? Yeah. Yusha. But honestly, I think I tried to probably explain some more video that I made a few years ago. How do you learn Japanese? But I think the most important part, right, to learn any language, really any language, is these like key notion words, right? Like it's general, like it's English, Japanese, Spanish, whatever, right? Learning a few like key nouns will usually lead you so far. So I can read immediately, okay, it's an assassin, it's a hero, status, and it's like, this is unfair. Okay, I can like understand, kind of the context of the sentence, even if I didn't read all the words in between, right? By just knowing kind of like the main points of the sentence, I can just assume what the rest is says. No, of course I can read it more, but I mean, if I only had, lower reading skills, if I can only read, like 2 out of 10 words, you can see kind of by context guess the rest of it. Especially this anime, because it's obviously what they're about. Anyway, let's read this anime out a little bit. But I think that this anime, right, I think it is a little bit. Here we go. Oh, it's super tiny, something like that. This kind of show, right, is very much this classic thing, right? He's like, oh, actually, I can't put a sound, right? He's like, yeah, I'm the hero now, and all this stuff, right? And he's gonna have, a white-haired elf lady and so on. This is what I want to show you guys, So, this is what I want to show you in the trailer, guys. I do like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Sylphie. I like Emilia Tan and so on, right? But it is kind of funny to me that I wonder who started this. This could be on video by itself, right? I wonder who started this trend. But it truly is some very, very massive trend that you have to have an elf girlfriend, and she needs to be Shiro. She needs to be white-haired, right? Yeah, she should be grey or white-haired. Why are elves always white-haired? They're not that in European or American stuff. But in Japan, they sure love that. For me, Emilia is probably the most famous one, though, but it's same Sif as well. I don't know. Like, why is that thing for? And I think, and it's weird to me too, because historically, I think in back in the days, wasn't it more like dark elves that have that, and they have dark skin complexion, right? And they will have white hair. So when it comes to dark elves, I get it more because it's kind of like, for example, Miracle with Macadamia. You have a tanned guy, right? She got white hair, because the contrast, makes you stand out more, right? It's a pretty common strategy. I worked in a game a couple years ago when we had these twins, okay? So my design of twins then, right, was that one twin. So they were the same kind of model, right, in the actual, code-wise, whatever. But one was white, one was black, right? But they were basically just like a, color swap, right, of each other. So we didn't have to make more, like modeling or whatever. But then, of course, they had different hairstyles, right? So one had like a white hair and a black hair. And then, of course, it was like, like a domino. The guy that was white had the black hair and the vice versa, you know what I mean? But otherwise, they were twins, the same modeling, right? And that's a classic strategy, of course, because then you have the contrast. Then they will start next to each other and it looks cool and all this stuff, right? So, this dark elf with white hair to me feels more classic in back in the day stuff, because it's just a basic art style. Anyway, my long point here, of course, is that this anime, I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel that excited about yet another assassin guy, and then he has like a white-haired elf lady that likes him and so on. You know what I mean? It just feels like... Take a sip here. Same old, no, monster taste, right? I don't hate isekais. I like isekais a lot, right? I love isekais. I really love Konosuba, whatever, right? I was thinking about it yesterday. I was preparing for this video, going over the trailers, and I was like, man, I still really love isekai. But because isekai isn't just a genre by itself, it's more like a medium of a pretense of what's happening, right? So you can have like Konosuba as a comedy. It's an isekai, but it's not the same storyline or whatever as Mustenshi, right? They're both isekais, but they're basically saying that they're both in the water. Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense, right? So I like isekais, and it can be anything. It can be management isekai, whatever. So isekai is very, very extremely broad. That's my point. But this anime here, though, it goes into that classic. I would call it the most cliche isekais we have. Right? This is the most stereotypical isekai we expect. Right? A guy is sent on the world. He gets like a bad power, but actually it's a good power. And then he gets like a cute white elf god that likes him, and he wants revenge on the other guys or something, And I don't know. I'm really tired of that. It's a bit another anime coming here soon after this, which has a very other similar, premise. Is Arufrata. Oh, they abandoned me in the cave, So I think I see too many animes of this very specific cliche, right? I think there are too many animes of this, again, very specific isekai, where the main character gets into a new world, and he gets a bad power-up, Again, Arufrata was probably the first big one of those, right, in anime context. But we have so many now, right, where this guy is like, oh, I'm just an assassin, but up here, this is the best job ever, or something, It's so, it is really tiresome. I don't know, it's just... it just feels... very animative, and maybe this is a good anime. Maybe I'm just completely wrong, and this is an amazing anime, and it's actually super unique and all that stuff, right? But do you think it's gonna be that? He also goes on a pet too. Yeah, he also gets a pet later. Right? He gets like they're hugging some kind of giant cat or something. So they also get that, right? But you know what I mean. It's just kind of tiresome, yeah. And I think there's another one later. We can go to another one. I'm jumping a little bit now then in... so I'm jumping slightly here then, because it's a little bit further down. We do have the next one, guys. I'm just going to jump to it immediately. While we're on the contest, right? So then we have this anime. That's the longest name ever, okay? And it's like Shinyeta Nakamatashi Dungeon something. The name is so long. Mugen the level, Natasha and Gacha. It just keeps going. You know what I mean? There's like literally, this is probably the longest isekai title ever, okay? This just keeps going. Shinyeta Nakamatashi in the Dungeon Okushide. Kurosa Karataka Gift, Mugen Gacha the level, 9999, no Nakamatashi Voten, ni är ett motto party member to Sekai, ni Fukusho Esama Shimasu! It just keeps going! So this anime is about a guy that is abandoned in a dungeon by his party, and they betray him, and then he gets like waifu summoning, which is actually pretty cool. But it's also the most cliche story ever, right? He goes into a dungeon, and they betray him. It's either Ferrata or whatever. Yeah, we've seen the title before, right? He wants revenge now. But yeah, that title is absurd, guys. Jesus Christ. That is the longest title of all time. My effing god, man. I mean, I'm tired reading that. This is the end of the stream. Turn off the stream. Lost all my willpower to live now. Yeah, I was like, okay, that was the whole long title ever. No, but seriously, right? So, you know this anime? It is, like I keep saying, right? It is a very stereotypical. I'll say it, revenge. They betrayed me, now I want revenge. You know what I mean? We all know about that, right? There's nothing new there whatsoever. But it is, let's see here. You can find it when he gets betrayed. Jump to that. He gets betrayed in the dungeon. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. He gets betrayed in the dungeon, right? But it's a wolf guy and so on. It looks almost exactly like Alferata. It looks so ridiculous. Maybe it's the wrong trailer. It's like a trailer he gets betrayed at least. Then he wants revenge. Oh, here it is. So he gets betrayed, you know what I mean? Yeah, they just betray him, right? So they have the red there, yeah, they betray him. He then wants revenge. He's pushed down into the dungeon, you know what I mean? And he has to survive down in the dungeon, right? So, it's that very, very classic cliche storyline by now, right? And he has to survive in that dungeon, for like a year by himself or something, Here it is, yeah. And then they all like push him down into, all these guys like push him down into the dungeon, right, or whatever. You get my point. So we've seen all this before, right? And he's like, I will kill all of you. I want revenge or whatever, right? And then but I have to say though, his powers are kind of interesting. They're kind of cute. So his powers are that he can like use gacha, So gacha, of course, is like booster packs and whatnot, right? Very popular in Japan and South Korea and so on, China, gacha games. So he basically has the power of unlimited gacha, so he can unlock these, like cards, right, to different characters. Then he can fight for him. So he's basically like Yu-Gi-Oh-ing it, right? He basically has like a card deck. So I have some of my magic cards here, right, next to me. Here's like the lightly card. Oh, this card is great though. This card is great. Here's a Brood God Elite, one of the best cards limited in Edge of Eternity, right? So he basically is like, oh, I'm gonna summon, Comet Crawler, then he comes out and says, yeah, Brood God Elite, go, and he throws the card out like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And then, of course, the actual character comes out in the world and fights for him, right? So, of course, he goes from having the worst and the weakest power ever, suddenly being the strongest person on the planet, right? Because this summoning gacha power is incredibly strong. Of course, they all hated him, and he was a pathetic, useless. You know what I mean? He had the worst power of all, but then suddenly, it actually was the best power when he had to survive with it for like a day in the dungeon. You know what I mean? So I am really, really tired of this premise. I hate it. I'm really tired of the other one too, where the hero gets, banished by the hero party, which is done also like 10 times now per season. I think it's that because isekais are, again, a very open genre, so to speak. It isn't actually a genre, it's more the premise, right? An isekai can be a comedy, it can be a drama, it can be a military thing, isekai can be anything. But when you have these animes where it's like banished by the hero party, betrayed by the hero party, betrayed by my friends in the dungeon, right? These all have this almost exact same storyline. Yeah, they all say the same premise, right? It goes from being an isekai, it can be a comedy, and these ones are never comedies, right? It's only just like fighting and revenge and so on, right? And they also usually have the premise of my powers were actually, the weak, but actually were the strongest. Like, oh, I was the best healer ever, but they didn't like me because my DPS was too low. But actually, I have the best healing ever, so I'm the best or whatever. Yeah, it's just stupid. Yeah, it's so stupid. The premise of those animes are so incredibly weak, right? This has a little better premise, but especially the ones where like, oh, I was the best healer ever. How could they use that or something? You're like, yeah, how could that ever work, It's kind of like, yeah, who would ever want to have the best healer in your party? Yeah, that's just pointless. So, no, I think the premises of those are really, really weak. Anyway, now we have another weird anime coming out, guys. So it is this anime here. Jumping from isekais to weird win animes. This anime sounds weird, man. This anime sounds weird. Like straight up. Sounds super weird, guys. So this is an anime, right? It's like I can't speak, sorry. Tomodachi no Emoto. So it's like my friend's sister right there. So Tomodachi is my friend. There's a lot of head stuff, Tomodachi no Kazan right there. Sure, there are sisters too, but a very, very common genre, of course, is like people smashing their friend's mom, right? And this, of course, is like, I'm gonna smash my best friend's sister instead. So it's just like, what? Yeah, but this one is gonna be a controversial anime. It looks pretty cute. But basically, I think it boils down to there's an anime kind of similar to like Nagatoro, right? I think it's an anime that's similar to those, Kohai Senpai animes, right? Where this younger girl, right? Because it's like his best friend's little sister, the Emoto of my Tomodachi, right? So he's like 19, she's 18, whatever, right? Or maybe he's 20, she's 18, whatever. But basically, they kind of like, the younger sister that he kind of like grew up with, right? But she isn't his actual sister, right? He's the girl next door, and she obviously is in love with him because, I don't know, she was in love with him since they were kids, right? That kind of classic premise. And now she keeps teasing him all the time and keeps being very, etchy with him and like shows him her pantsy or whatever and tries to seduce him all the time, right? So it's that kind of story now. So I think it mostly reminds me, like I mentioned, of like a Nagatoro or something similar to that, right? Where it's like the younger girl is like super into it, she's like super thirsty, but kind of weirdly, oh yeah, you want to see this thing, yeah, but doesn't actually want to admit it, right? Yeah, but she doesn't want to actually admit she likes him. So she's like, oh yeah, would you want to see my yeah, maybe not, like that kind of annoying. So actually, I think it's gonna be probably be a pretty funny anime, but it certainly sounds kind of weird. It's kind of like it's like we're not related by blood, right? It sounds a lot like not related by blood, the classic like hen story. I mean, she's basically my sister, but we don't actually siblings. Yeah, that's how it sounds though. He's like, I grew up with this girl, we've been living together since I was like 5 or something, that's how it's set up, right? Like she's like, again, like a girl next door, they've been playing with her brother's brother, right? His best friend, right? Since they were like little kids, right? She's like clearly in love with him and is trying to, seduce him, and he's like, she's so annoying. Yeah, and she's so annoying. Yeah, she bullies him. She's so mean to me. Does she actually like me? But yeah, I mean, what I mean? It's a kawaii senpai. But it's also like, I don't understand. Like it's here, she keeps teasing me all the time. But does she like me or not? I don't understand. Here we go. So yeah, like she practically lives in his room, right? Yeah, she lives in his room, doesn't leave him. He's always on his bed. It sounds like John Wilson. This anime is like, oh man, this anime is gonna be so controversial, man. Like the whole anime is just the main character being harassed by this woman that keeps being on his bedroom, keeps going to his house, right? And his mom is like, yeah, but she's like obviously your girlfriend, and everyone probably think they're dating, right? Everyone's gonna be like they're dating, but for him, it's his sister. Right? He's like, I can't date her. She basically is my sister. You know what I mean? God damn it! Yeah, it's so anime. It's so anime. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's so anime. He's just gonna be like, she's basically my little sister. She keeps trying to, seduce him all the time. Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's gonna be the most controversial anime. Probably. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. My throat is like, it's killing me. Oh, seriously, I have really bad throat this last week. I was in UK last week, right? So I didn't do this stream last week. And it was like the worst trip ever. And I won't tell you too much here because it's very current issues work. It's a work trip right then. But it generally wasn't the worst trip I think I ever had in my life, going to the UK with a certain person there. It was just the worst thing I've been like. It's like trauma, like generally like PTSD afterwards. So last week when I finally got home, I kind of just woke up, did a Magic tournament that I won, and then I just almost like completely like passed out afterward. I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired. And I've been so tired this week too. I was so tired Monday, Tuesday. Like genuinely feel like like mental tired, yeah, like crazy. I haven't felt like almost ever in my life before. I was like, oh my god. That trip was hell on earth, man. Like seriously, the trip was so bad. It's so bad. Anyway, but that's what my throat started acting up too. Because you know how it is. I think it's very clear. I never get sick. Like I haven't been sick in like my whole life. I never miss a single day of my work as well. But it's like, you know, like this like minor pain, right? It's minor throat pain or whatever. It's minor, but it's starting to come after that trip. Yeah, again, worst trip ever, right? And then I woke up on Monday, like, oh god, my throat really hurts now. Like I don't feel like I'm sick or anything, but it just hurts, right? But it's kind of like if someone punched you in the face, you know, it hurts, yeah. So, but it felt like I got punched in the stomach, like I had such a time pain. Yeah. But basically, it feels like I got punched in the stomach, right, for like 10 times per day while I was in the UK, basically, right? So, yeah, this week has been like, oh my god, like my whole body's been like, oh my god, trying to recover from last week, honestly. But usually I don't drink when I stream, but yeah, I need to, because my throat is really hurts. Maybe we should talk too much. I know. Anyway, Togen Anki. This is an anime that's going currently, and I think it actually is pretty bad. Honestly, the best part of the anime is the ending from Bandmade. You know, what is justice? Walk around night. I actually love the ending. I mean, you know, I've done a lot of Bandmade videos in the past, but I honestly think it's probably the best song, like straight up. So I'm listening to, I mean, I listen to Bandmade every now and then, of course, at work and so on, etc. But I think this is, yeah, I think What is Justice is probably the song that I actually have listened to the most after getting, yeah, I think so. It's a really, really good song. I listen to it a lot since it got released at the beginning of the season. So it's a fantastic song. But the anime, yeah, the anime is not very good. I mean, it's like, I'm like trying to be nice here, like, you know what? There's a great song in the anime, like the rest is terrible. I was like, you know, it's like, that song is good. Well, a lot of things good in anime is that all the female characters has ridiculous tits, okay? Let's see if we can find someone that isn't like... So, a lot of people are complaining, right? A lot of tourists are complaining about Togen Anki because they have absurdly ridiculous oppas. So I got a Reddit. Yeah, so if you Google that, like Togen Anki, immediately you get comments, you know, like, oh, I hate this anime. Why is it big for? Yeah, this anime is terrible. Like, you get everyone's complaining, you know, everyone's complaining. But seriously, I mean, I've seen the anime, right? I've seen the anime, and yeah, like the design of the female characters, they are absurd. Like, honestly, Togen Anki might have the most absurd design I've seen in my life. From in non-hentai, yeah, like seriously. Because I mean, and honestly, it almost gets bad. Like, I mean, I think I'm prude now, but no, but it looks so weird. I mean, like, I should be complaining, oh, big titties or whatever, but they have this absurd, they have like some absurd scenes. Like they're ridiculous. It's one thing here, she does some kind of, like a Naruto, which she does, you know, like, yeah, the Naruto, how I say it, you know, she does like the hand sign. Here it is. She does hear this image, guys. She's doing the hand sign, you know. I barely want to show it on, actually, can I show it on YouTube? She's doing the hand sign, and the camera goes straight up in her oppas, right? And it's like these ridiculous oppas. But here's one on like Reddit, okay? Here's one on Reddit, right? And it's just like everyone's complaining about the design, right, in this anime. But yeah, so Togen Anki has good ending and it has big oppas, man. Big oppas. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's something insane. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's so absurd. You know, all the character designs have this exact like design, basically. Like, it's crazy. And I shouldn't be complaining, oh, you don't do like tits now? No, but I think the problem with the anime, and I mean it genuinely, is that every female character has the exact same body design, yeah. No, but honestly, I think that is an actual problem. I mean it literally, right? I don't think it actually is that impressive. That, okay, so they all have like really giant legs, okay, nice. But they all have that. Like, I think literally every female character is almost exactly the same as anime. There aren't that many of them. There are much more, many more male characters. But like the other woman, here she is. Yeah, the weird Yankee woman. She got like the exact same body shape as other woman. Yeah, like literally. She got the exact same body shape. And when she fights later, she also clothing, of course. Because her powers is like love blood, so she gets stronger the hornier she is. I'm not even kidding. It's an actual character. She gets stronger, her thirst increases as she gets stronger. So she's gonna fight, but she removes her clothing to fight in like her underwear. And she has the exact same body shape as other woman. Like literally, they have the exact same breast size or whatever, and height. I mean, honestly, I think they have almost the exact same body shape. Only difference is that one has the other hair. But they're both blondes too. This is the other woman, right? These are the two main females we've seen so far, right? And yeah, they have like, literally, I think, almost exactly the same body. The only difference is that one, she got this like weird, pigtail hair, and the other one got like a shorter hair. But they're both blonde too. So they have like the exact same, appearance, almost. Like, and she has like a lollipop, yeah. But it's like, remove the lollipop, I can barely see them different. Here she is when she's starting to take off her clothing. How the hell this stream is about this now, but here she is. She's starting to strip now. She's gonna fight. She's starting to like take off her clothes. That actually is what's happening. So I seen it right the first season. I hated it. I don't like tits anymore. No, but it's like the cats are really bad in this anime. Honestly, I'm surprised how it's even this popular. Like, it's one of the worst. It is not okay. Togenanki isn't like the worst anime I've seen in my life. This is not like, a 6 out of 10, it's a terrible anime, whatever. But I think it's not very appealing, right? So first of all, yes, okay, all the women have ridiculous oppas, okay? And that is the least problem of the anime. No, but it's like I said, they all have that exact same body shape, okay? Like all of them. And I think that to me is actually impressive, right? Because if the only thing Art does is give everyone giant jugs, and then the other ones have the exact same body, I think that's impressive, right? I would rather have one woman with really giant jugs, right? Maybe the other one could be like very muscular, you know what I mean? So no, I don't think that actually is that interesting if everyone just has really, really thick tits. No, I don't think that's interesting. But regardless of that, the real problem is everyone's personality, right? Everyone is so dislikable. Like the woman with love blood, she's probably the most entertaining character. Actually, I think the evil woman also is entertaining. So it's like, actually the female characters probably have the best characters, but all of his classmates are so bad. They're so boring, so one-dimensional. You know, this one guy with glasses that is this like weird, perv guy that immediately asks the women to F him, right? He meets them and so on. And these doesn't work on me, these jokes, okay? Like, they're not funny. I don't find this anime funny whatsoever. I definitely recommend it. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised how it's not funny whatsoever. I mean, obviously we have, a bunch of etchy characters, perv characters in anime, like Sanji, Master Roshi, or Kamasen, I call him, right, Mineta, and so on. But honestly, they all pale compared to the guy in this anime. I remember his name, the glasses guy, Megan guy. He's stressed up because after, do you want to F you? Or do you in the ass, basically? It's just not funny. Like, it's not funny whatsoever. It's so blunt. And he has this like really weird creep thing with just sniffing the characters and all. And I'm intent as much as Sanji. It doesn't make any sense, right? And then the problem is then that the blood love woman, right? That has her whole like my powers based on her horniness, right? She's also way too overkill on that. So after she has her initial fight, and then she's gonna, go back with the guy she likes now then, right? She's like, oh, I need to F him now, do this thing. She's gonna explain her, like, her plan, basically, for like a normal day, being her girlfriend. She's like, we wake up, we do it again, F you again, we go to the shower, we do it again, and then it's like, we eat food, then we do it again. And I suppose that's supposed to be like funny, or like, haha, she's so horny, whatever, but it's just so overkill, right? This anime is very, very badly written, because every character is just so incredibly blunt about it. There's no nuance to it, right? Obviously the joke is that, she's super horny, haha, how funny, this woman really wants to sleep with him, right? But it's just kind of like, it doesn't feel real whatsoever, right? She could have been like, oh, if you date me, I will have sex with you every day, right? She could have said that, right? Or she could have been like, yeah, let's do it or whatever. But then she's like, okay, if you date me, we're gonna do it like 11 times per day. I'm gonna like do this thing and that thing and that thing and that thing and that thing and then that thing and that thing. Like, no one talks of that, right? No one woman talks of that. And obviously the joke, I suppose, is that she's so, as say in Swedish, het på gröten, that she's so thirsty, and that's why everyone reacts to her, because she scares people, because she's so incredibly into it, that she's so horny, that men actually reject her because they're afraid of her because she seems like she's mentally insane, right? And I think that if she was the only character like that, it might have worked, right? That a very attractive woman with really, really big tits is way too into having sex with everyone, and that's people avoid her because she's so into it. Yeah, then maybe it would have worked. But every character is like that. All the characters are very one-dimensional, and they're very annoying. They're very like freaking public men, all of them. So no, it doesn't make any sense. But everyone acts like her in their own things, right? I mean, obviously she's all about sex, right? But some other character have whatever they have. The other guy. The Megan also about sex, right? So yeah, so another guy's super shy or whatever. Yeah, so they're very one-dimensional. They're very incredibly obsessed with one thing, and it just seems really. I felt like every character is incredibly boring in this anime. The main character is a cliche, boring guy, and so on forth too. Right? Definitely don't recommend it. I think it was just I probably will drop it. I don't know if it's like an anime. I haven't seen probably the last 2-3 episodes though. So it's all animes where I watched the first 2-3 episodes, didn't really like it. Then I binged maybe like 4 episodes something on like I think on like Man I Was Flying or something like that, you know. And I probably will not pick it up again, you know. It's just not good enough. But yeah, pretty boring. And the whole whatever they're fighting with the moment horse, yeah, the storyline isn't interesting either. Yeah, this one been an hour. Ooh. No. Here comes an anime that I truly hate, right? Oh my god. Also a lot of copper issues with anime. There's a lot of copper issues with To Your Eternity, which is not that bad because I kind of dropped it. So, oh man. To Your Eternity was just terrible. Season 2 was an absolute dog shit, man. Oh my god. Season 1 was so good. That being said, though, I remember season 1 aired, and I was like, man, this is a talented anime, except of course the Yanada Island arc, which was absolute terrible as well, right? That arc was so bad, and I was like, I rated it like a 9 out of 10 season 1, because I was like, yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 if you ignore the Island arc, right? But then I was like, okay, so 2 starts, I was like, okay, it's good, man, it's back, baby. The Tab Island never happened, and then this war arc starts. And it's so bad. It's so effing bad, guys. Holy shit. The second half, season 2, was even worse than the United Island arc. And it was so boring. It was so unimpressive. I was like, oh my god. This is from the same author. They wrote Silent Voice, which is like a masterpiece, like the best anime of all time and so on. And I'm like, oh my god, what happened here? So this author is really good at writing, you know, like sadness and misery and bullying and so on. But she can't write, you know, like shonen stuff. She shouldn't attempt to write, like, you know, like, oh, it's a war arc now. We're gonna have this war now, you know, we're gonna fight this weird stuff in space, and we're gonna have this military. Yeah, the last like, I don't know, 10 episodes were so bad. So bad. It's season 2. I was so disappointed. But like I said, it did remind me of how terrible the Another Island arc was. The arc was also dog shit, right? It was terrible. And, like, this anime is so good when it's not bad. And now it sounds terrible, obviously. No, but I think a lot of animes, for example, right? You talk about Togen Anki, right, you know? That anime is never good, okay? That's so mean. That anime is terrible! It's only good with the ending goes, yeah. No, but that anime, it's like mid, right, you know? That anime is a truly mid anime. It's at best like a 6 out of 10 episodes, right? And then I get, or worse, yeah. Or some episodes is worse. But it's like, you know, at best it's like mediocre, right? A lot of animes are that, yeah. At best they're mediocre, at worst they're 0 out of 10, right? But at best they're mid. This anime, To Your Eternity, Fumetsu no Anata, is like, again, 10 out of 10, right? When it's not the bad arcs. And I know it sounds kind of obvious, but I think it's important to understand, right? Is that it's like every second arc is a masterpiece, and the other arcs are just absolute shit, right? Yeah, so it's so incredibly uneven. And you're reading it or watching it and be like, oh my god, this could be like the best anime of all time if we only had the good arcs, right? Because those are really good arcs. But the problem is, of course, that the first season then, basically, right, was 10 out of 10 until the last arc, which is the island arc. There was one episode about Grandma, you know, in the last after that, which was also really good. That was a good episode. But season 2 is the reverse. where honestly, yeah, it's like it's only a few good episodes in 2, and the rest was just terrible, right? So it's yeah, I have like no hopes. I don't know. I heard that season 3 is gonna be about like current time or something. They're gonna jump in time or whatever, right? But anyway, not to sit there too much, just hate on it. But I think that to explain it rather, I mean, the problem is United Island was just badly written in so many ways, but it also focused on this character, right? That's been in the whole from the beginning, right? This evil woman, and her lineage comes back in 2. This was the big problem in 2, right? You have this antagonist that's like in love with Fushi or something, and the problem was that Fushi is supposedly stupid and all this stuff, right? But I think that's also what the anime also really fails. That actually does fail the storyline, because the main character keeps being a moron even when he should have learned his mistakes, right? It's one thing he's stupid in the beginning of the anime, but in season 2, almost ends in 2, he still is like IQ 1, right? He's still trusting in his incredible, annoying person that you know is gonna betray him and so on. That's one thing that's very frustrating in season 2, that we have this like incredible, annoying antagonist in season 2, and they just never get punished forever. Fushi never like takes it over with them. That's very, very frustrating to watch, I think, because it's so obviously this person's evil, right? And even a moron like the main character should learn that, because again, the main character's goal is to be more and more human and learn stuff, right? And then you have to wonder, but why doesn't he ever learn this, right? And the objective doesn't make any sense, because he learns other stuff, you know what I mean? He learns how to fight, how to make weapons and all this other stuff. He learns how to, you know, give better speeches or whatever. He learns other stuff, right? Kind of like, again, like a kid growing up. So he learns all these other skills, but yet he still is completely moronic with this one thing when it comes to this most obvious antagonist of all time. And it's just like, it's so frustrating. That's one big reason, right? And like I said, objectively, it's not actually well written then, because how can you master A but not B, when they are the same ability, you know, the same intelligence skill, right? So it doesn't make any sense. But then the actual war itself is just boring. Yeah, they're basically fighting these like alien squid brain things, right? And he can't die, and he just keeps like reviving his friends. And it was interesting morbid for a bit. So some of his character dies, but he can like revive them, and then they kind of don't care anymore by dying, so they teleport by dying and so on. But it wasn't actually good like action, but it was like, interesting from a mental standpoint. I did like that, but it was just like the whole war thing, within the wars. It's just kind of boring, I think. It was not that interesting. Yeah, it's like this really badly like choreographed war thing, right? Where, you know, it's just like, why am I watching this for? Like I said, the author is much better at writing actual drama and emotions and all that. It doesn't feel she really can get away with some kind of just very, very, at best, mid-battle episodes, right? And so 2 could probably have been saved, though, if all the war bit was much higher paced. Because I also felt incredibly slower paced. So I did react to it, right? And I was sitting there for the episode being like, oh my god, I could skip like 10 minutes here. Like, nothing happens. It's like them fighting the brain thing, and then all the brain thing spawns, and then this thing happens, but nothing actually happens. It's just like, yeah, whatever, wall there, like, you know, and it's a little bit drama every episode, but it was just incredibly slow-paced as well, right, and so forth. But lastly, the problem is, of course, he kind of keeps reviving the cat later. It also kind of just removes all the emotion. If he can revive everyone that dies, it doesn't matter anymore. So, I don't know. And also when, you know, this is the best character, I think a problem fundamental to anime too is that it introduces like interesting characters, right? But then it removes them by either them growing up or traveling or whatever. And this is of course a part of the actual storyline, but in a sense it also makes the anime weaker, because if you lose a really well written supported bro, and then some other character like super annoying yandere character is your new bro instead, you're like, okay, this is not good anymore. So it's like a fundamental issue with the whole system of the story itself, I would argue for. But yeah, just super annoying, Jesus Christ, man. It's like modern time or something in the next arc. Something like that. Season 2... No, this is the anime started, right? Yeah. This is again another one, you know, it's like, oh no, I have the bad ability. I'm the hero with the wrong ability. But everyone else is very powerful, so I don't know. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know that. Here goes a good anime though. This anime I actually really look forward to. This anime is awesome. This is like badass waifu fighting, okay? This is probably my waifu. This is my waifu season, Scarlet. You can find the trailer. Oh, sorry, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. This woman looks badass, guys. She looks freaking badass. She's like, may I ask you to die? Yeah. No, here it is. This woman is badass. She's like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, you know? Yeah. She's like, this guy's pisses me off, so I'm gonna beat the crap out of them. Yes. I love her. She's bad. This is the wife. I'm calling you guys Scarlet. It's a good image of her, yeah. Scarlet, man. This is the anime wife of the season, easily. So this is one of those, you know, kind of like evil, villainous kind of thing. I have to get married to the prince or whatever, right? And then he rejects her, finally, she hates him, and she just beats crap out of him. She's like, ah, yeah. She brawls him down. She's like, shut up, yeah. He kicks his ass, kick his new girlfriend's ass, right? And just going around on the street, and she's on the ass, yeah. Then she goes around and he just beats people up, you know. She goes around like in the city and like assaults people. And the whole anime is about her as being like a crazy brawler lady. Like everyone, she's like, yeah, let's effing go. Like, she kicks everyone's ass all the time. It's hilarious. She's like some kind of bloodthirsty brawler. It's awesome. It's awesome. No, this actually, genuinely, this to me is one. This is for me probably the most exciting new anime. Yeah, we have a woman that is like, you know, kind of like Baccarina, similar to that, right? You know, the Otome villainous thing. But instead of being like a moron like a Baccarina, but lovable, a lovable goofball, right? Or, you know, like a master video gamer. Because of course a bunch of Otome villainous where the woman is like a genius, right? She can figure out everything and so on, etc. Here it's just like, I'm just gonna kick everyone's ass. Yeah. She just goes around and smacks everyone. This is so stupid. It's just so simplistically, I love it. It's just so, yeah, it's just like, oh, you insult me? Or like, you know, because you know how it usually is, right? It's a kind of evil plan, and they have to, you know, trick them or whatever, right? Like I said, I think a lot of these villainous animes tend to be isekais, right? Where the character kind of knows the truth, they know how the game plays out, right? So they have to try to use their intelligence to, you know, manipulate the ending or whatever. Obviously, Baccarina is the most famous episode of that, but she's a moron though. It's comedy. But there are a bunch of other, you know, similar animes with like there are like 20 other animes, right, where the woman is actually competently smart, right? Not like Baccarina, which is opposite Baka, right? So that's the common trend. But here, this woman is that it's like, oh, why should I have to figure out shit? Why should I have to do this? I'm just gonna punch them. I'm just gonna beat them up instead. That being said, I think she actually is an isekai character. I think she just is like typical. But I mean, the whole premise though overall is kind of the same thing, right? You know, she has to marry this prince guy. She hates him. There's some rival. There's some other person that wants her and so on. So I mean, it's a typical like Otome storyline from that sense. Maybe not isekai, but I mean, it's Otome. Otome is like, you know, it's like reverse harem, people call it sometimes, whatever, right? So it's that kind of thing or whatever, right? To some extent. But yeah, she's just like, I love to punch people. and then she solves everything with her physical strength and so on. It's a little bit like a Merlona character, something like that. Yeah, it's like, why do I have to strategy? I just punch them harder. Yeah, what? They have to figure out this dragon's weakness? What if I just punch it more times? Yeah, it's that kind of feeling, which I think she's gonna be my absolute favorite wife. Yeah, she's gonna go around and be like, "What? How do I beat this thing? I just punch it more." So on, right? And then she's gonna be this like, you know, comedy, of course, overall. Yeah. It is like a brawling anime, seeing her running around, punching people all the time. Right? In every episode, she will certainly fight people, and the other half is like a rom-com, you know, because her fiance's. Her ex-fiancé brother, the first prince, wants to marry her. He loves her, because he loves her. She's a crazy, bloodthirsty tyrant. He's like, oh, it's hot. Yeah, he's me. He's like, yeah, it's hot. Yeah, he's like, damn it, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll smash it. He's like, I want it. I want the blood woman. Yeah, she's like dancing in blood. That's freaking hot. But actually, I mean, if you're the prince, the first prince of the kingdom, right, and you want to have a wife that can give you strong children, you're like, yeah, I like it. He's like, what if my wife was a crazy brawler lady? That'd be good when it war starts. Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's awesome. So maybe not too bad. Yeah, he's like, I got it. No, but seriously, I think the anime was really interesting. And like I said, probably for me, the most exciting new anime, right? Coming this season. Now then, we have Tales of Wedding Rings and 2. You can see it's very ecchi. You can see some almost, you know how it goes. Anime is very ecchi. It's horror, it's ecchi, it's fantasy. But actually, I think the anime is a pretty good show. Yeah, I think people kind of underestimate the show. Like I said, right, it's very ecchi over here, you know what I mean? It's very like, oh, it's a pantsu, whatever. It's a very much a fan service, all right. The guy got like wedding rings and he has to marry different waifus, and by marrying them, he gets like a power up. So for each wife he has, he gets stronger. The premise is that I need to have, a bunch of wives, right? Because the more I smash, the better I get at smashing enemies. Yeah, so premise-wise, it's hilarious, I think. Harem hilariousness, right? But actually, this anime was pretty good, okay? Like, I thought it was gonna be basically almost hen, right? You know what I mean? It's very, very ecchi, and it is ecchi, absolutely, right? But actually, watching the first season, I was like, you know what? It actually is a pretty good anime. Like, it's genuinely pretty good. And also, of course, a lot of sex stuff. And also, boobs and ass. But like, even ignoring the boobs and ass, right? This anime actually was like, well, this actually is actually genuinely a good writing and like pretty first of all. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of people probably just assume this is pure ecchi, fan service, zero storyline, just constant titties. But no, it actually has like a good storyline and good fights as well as a lot of titties. but like I said, this is not like a 10 out of 10 show. Like, it is not like a zero isekai with amazing writing and build up and characters. But it actually is like probably better. I guess I would say that I would rate it probably maybe 1 or 2 plus score, right? Than I think the average scores of it. So yeah, actually I would recommend it, guys. You can binge season 1 now, season 2, right? But because I was the same as well, right? When I first read the premise of last season, and I watched episode 1, and I made a video about it, and so on. At the beginning, I was like, this is pretty good, but I do assume that it's a bit of sex jokes, right? Which, of course, it is, a lot of it. But I was like, no, but it has something more there, too. But I think I said it in my first review, so I was like, I think it is a little deeper than just being a bunch of ecchi scenes all the time. I think it is more than that. But still, though, again, I said, it's not like, how say it, right? Like I keep saying, Lord Adams too. This is not a show where you watch it and you're like, oh my god, I have changed my opinion of life now, right? It's not a show where like, okay, yeah, now I have completely like rearranged my mental standpoint of how everything in reality works or whatever. It certainly is not that kind of show, right? Where you kind of like have changed, so to speak, your whole presence of being alive or something. Certainly not, but still pretty decent. Here comes another like bullying Nagatoro, my senpai show. This is called like My Annoying Senpai or My Awkward Senpai. Bukiyo Nai Senpai. It's like awkward senpai is probably without it translated to. What is it in English now again? Sorry, sometimes I don't remember the English title of it. My Awkward Senpai, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes I don't remember the title of it. It's reading the average, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's like annoying or so on. So obviously, this is yet another, kawaii senpai dating. Nagatoro, I mentioned earlier. Again, that's kind of what you're going for. This one though, they are adult cast. They are like working at the company, so it's probably more closer to. My annoying senpai. What is it called now again? Oh my god, no, I'm blanking. It's in front of me. Tiny little girl with green hair, she's very short, and her senpai is a giant. But isn't that just called My Annoying Senpai? Like, isn't that kind of the same title? I mean, no, I'm just being like, what? I'm blanking now. But it doesn't almost have the exact same title in English. It's like My Annoying Senpai or something. Isn't that what it's called, right, in English? Yeah, My Annoying Senpai. That's what I mean. No, I mean, it's like, isn't that the same title in English? My senpai is annoying. So you can see what I mean. Like, it's like like sorry, yeah, it's like My Senpai is annoying, right? Like even the titles are the same. This is a show that I watched. I think it's pretty good, right? But yeah, this title is My Senpai is annoying. Then this new other show is like My Senpai is awkward. So you see what I mean? I was like, isn't that called that too? Like, they almost have the exact same wording. And when I read the word Japanese, I was like, I guess that could mean annoying. So yeah, you get my point. You have seen the shows before. We know what it's about. There's no question, right? what this show is about. Yeah, it's the classic again. Kawaii senpai. Kawaii is the younger, right? Senpai is the older. They have to work together, you know, and they get into weird romance stuff, right? Because they're strange. Yeah. So I mean, I kind of like these shows though, so I'll probably watch it. But it's probably like a 7 out of 10, like decent rom-com, right? You know, it's just it's kind of, you know, yeah, romance, workplace romance, yeah. So. The harem show. This though actually interesting, okay? So let's look at this show actually interesting. I think it actually might be pretty cool. So this show is called Chitose-kun Waramune. But it looks to have like a Hikamori tendencies to it. As you can find in the trailer here. So the goal is to get the guy out of being a Hikamori. You know, a Hikamori is someone that lives and never goes outside or whatever, right? Unless I'm misremembering now what anime it's about. Wait, am I misremembering now? Oh, sorry. I think it's one. No, it is one, sorry, yeah. But I was like, what is it in the trailer then? Because basically, at first, I was like, this is like a basic harem anime. But it actually has this really weird premise. And it's barely even shown in the trailer by itself too. So it's actually kind of weird. Even the trailer doesn't really show it at first. So basically, right, they have to go home to this guy, and he doesn't want to leave. He's like Hikamori or so, right? So you can see here, this guy's like crying at home. If you go back a little bit there, right, you saw the door. Here, you know, he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to go outside, right? So yeah, like that thing, right? So it's an anime about a guy being a Hikamori. But the actual storyline basically is this popular guy at school. He got a harem with a bunch of waifus or whatever, right? And his goal is to get this guy out. So we are following, I guess, the person trying to save the guy to go outside. To tend, I think, it's animes, right? Like potentially, we tend to follow, you know, the guy that is Hikamori, right? We tend to follow the guy that is inside, basically, like, oh, I don't want to go out, and it's more about his reasoning, I'm being bullied, or this thing, or my mom died, or whatever, right? And it's more like, why do I have to leave? How do I change, or whatever? How do I overcome that, right? But this anime seems to be more like, no, we're following the popular guy at school instead, and he's like reasoning, how do I save this guy? So actually, this anime looks actually really interesting. See how the writing goes. But I think it actually looks really interesting from that standpoint. We're kind of following kind of like the guy trying to aid the person, right? Which I haven't seen before, honestly, I think. Not that much, though. Like I said, right, there are a bunch of animes. Mushitanshi, probably the most famous one. Obviously, Rudy, in his previous life, was Hikamori. And there are a bunch of other, you know, neat animes, right? Like some, usually women these days, right? Like hot, neat girls that finally go outside and are attractive or whatever. But again, those animes are about, like, from their perspective, right? Oh, I'm like a neat, and I finally overcome that, and I go outside and I get a job or whatever, right? It's about them, like, overcoming their issues, usually by themselves, I would argue for, but most of the time, right? But this anime looks very different, yeah. Like, it's following the other guy on the outside. It's like following the doctor, like, how do I heal this person? So I think it has an interesting premise. And I guess when you see the image here, right, the front image of it, this is kind of like the Hikamori's vision, like it's very popular girls and the popular guy trying to be like, yeah, let's go outside, and trying to be like, come out, Hikamori-kun! Yeah, she's like, hot! And so, yeah, they're trying to, like, you know, get him to, you want to play with these cute girls? Yeah, something stupid, like, come on, let's play basketball with me! Yeah, this is weird, you know. He's like gonna try to use his like harem girls to get him out or something. Something weird. But honestly, it sounds interesting. I'll definitely check it out. It might be the dark horse or something we call it. But it actually sounds really interesting, I think. On a side note though, the character in the trailer, they look so similar to Tomodachi. Oh, what's it called again in English or Japanese? Oh my god. Like the Tomodachi skills, whatever it's called. They look so similar to them. Maybe it's the same people doing it. It's the same studio. What's it called again? The guy that plays like Super Smash Bros. Tomodachi skills. Oh, what is it called now again? I can't remember what it's called. Not some Tomodachi game. I can't remember what it's called. Come on, help me out. I remember what I'm talking about. What is it called now again? Like it's like a Bottom, that's called English. Bottom tier character. The art of the trailer looks really similar, and the characters to bottom tier, in my opinion, looks very similar to. Okay, there's a terrible image of the front, but whatever. You know, yeah, this guy is like, no, I don't want to be friends with you weirdos. I want to play Smash, right? And this girl is like, no, I'm gonna help you to become a hot guy. Yeah, it's like, no, I don't want to. I want to play Super Smash Bros. You know what I mean? And they're kind of similar. They're kind of like, yeah, doing this thing, and they even look similar to this cast. It's like, you know, but I guess also kind of anime. It's like, you know, oh, it's like this white-haired girl, blonde-haired girl. Yeah, it's the exact same harem. It's like the exact same characters. Am I the only one? You don't go exactly the same. They look so similar in the opening. But whatever, I digress. It's not an anime about guys doing something, being kicked out. So this is like, I used to be the court mage. No, I'm not anymore. So I'm so tired, guys. It's mentioned earlier, right? I'm so tired. You know what I mean? You have yet another anime where the guy is like fired. He's kicked out from the hero party or the king's prince party or whatever, right? So he gets exiled because he's the best healer. This is the same plot again. He's like, you are the best healer ever. We don't need you, boy. You can only heal. I hate this premise so much, guys. I hate this premise so much, okay? I can't explain how much I disdain of this premise, where it's like, oh no, we are kicking out the guy because he's the best healer. Who could ever eat that in fighting the dragon? Yeah, it's so stupid, right? It's so incredibly stupid that they would fire the guy. He's the best healer in the country, right? Oh, he can't use attack magic, right? You know what I mean? It's so stupid. It's so incredibly stupid. And I mean, what do they have some other guy then that can also use equally good healing and DPS, I guess, or something? I don't know, but I'm tired, guys. This premise is beyond stupid. So first of all, it's the whole general premise, right, of like, oh, I was kicked out from the hero party or the prince party or whatever. It doesn't matter, it's the same thing. I was kicked out from the hero party because even though I was the best, you know what I mean? Oh, it's so unfair. Okay, revenge. And then they add a second, you know, trope on it that we also see now many times, that is specifically the healer. It's like redo healer, yeah. The healer is the one they all hate, right? Because he's a healer and he's a support cast, you know. Yeah, he's a weak beta guy, right? It's so boring. It's been done so many times before, and every time it makes zero sense, right? Because I've yet to see a single anime where they have actual really good reasoning figuring out like the top dog healer. It's like, what? It's like the most important character in every video game, you know what I mean? It's the support character. Yeah, it's like both, like in Warpig, like whatever. The healer, short, you need extra tank, I know, but it's like it's pretty easy in like WoW to be a decent tank, right? It's much harder to be a good healer, you know what I mean? So you can find like a decent tank easily, right? You stand there and take the damage, you know what I mean? Healing is much harder. That being said, I think if I have to be very, very candid here, I think that in most games though, multiplayer games, being a really, 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 like a top 10 of 10, you know, tank is the hardest, yeah. If to truly be the best, okay? Then it's tanking, because tanking needs to take. I used to play obviously main tank, but I used to play a lot of Death Knight tanking, right? And it takes a lot of effort to. So I played with all roles, but yeah, tanking, it takes a lot of effort positioning yourself all the time. You have to always think about where everyone else is standing. You have to pull the boss and move around, and you have to always think about where's everyone else all the time. Plus, you have to think about your own cooldowns and the healer cooldown. So you have, and also your, especially in WoW, your other tank, right? So as a tank, you have to know like all the 3-4 other healers, what they are doing. So if they can heal you or not, or you have to burn your cooldowns. But at the same time, you have to also understand, even more importantly, the other tanks. So in most boss fights in the WoW, right, you have 2 tanks. So you have to always coordinate with your bro how you are doing it. So it takes a lot of effort. But actually, when I tanked the most a couple of years ago with my best friend, he also was tanking that. So I was a Death Knight tank, he was a Monk tank, and we didn't even have the other people on Discord or whatever, on Skype or whatever. we just hang out, just two of us, because we have to constantly coordinate our cooldowns and how we're moving the stuff and how we're avoiding the ads and all this stuff and moving it from I'll take the ad stuff from the guys in the DPS and so forth. That was more important than we could have an open dialogue all the time. We didn't care about talking to the healer DPS. So we're like, no, we just two of us need to constantly communicate what we're doing, right? So tanking is like by far the hardest communicating role. DPS is obviously easiest, yeah. But healing is still probably a lot harder than being like a mid tank. It's easiest being like a decent tank, just going up and standing there. But like a mythical raider top tank, yeah, that is much harder than healing. And obviously DPS is just garbage. DPS is so easy, right? DPS is like brain dead, right? In almost every game. And then if you ignore the multiplayer games, right? In almost every other game, you know, Final Fantasy, whatever, Breath of Fire, so forth, right? Whatever, you know what I mean? The healer is always the most important character. I mean, honestly, it's even more so in those games, right? Because in single player games like FF and so on, you don't really have tanking, right? Of course, you have tanking in some of those games, absolutely. But in most of those games, the typical, you know, single player role playing games, you don't even have a tank, right? You have some bruiser guys that can take more damage and so on, but usually you don't have like tanking in like FF games because everyone gets hit by the spell or whatever. So it's not really tanking. So the healing again is the number one character for the party, right? Because they have to shield everyone, they have to AoE heal, right? So yeah, if you don't have a healer, you can never beat most role playing games, right? So whatever, you get my long point here. This whole premise of we kicked out the healer is just the dumbest thing ever, because it's also like the healer is usually the strongest healer, right? I never seen an anime where they kicked out the healer was a bad healer. No, it's always like I'm the best healer in the planet, right? I'm the greatest healer of all time, yet they kicked me out because I couldn't throw a fireball. Like, this is so stupid, yeah. So I hate this premise. I have never liked it. It's just incredibly asinine. And this anime does that, you know, I'm the healer and I'm kicked out for the hero party. Yeah, it's just so boring. And I look at the trailer, like, yeah, whatever, he's fighting some guys. He's learning how to fight now, whatever. I'm just like, I'm so interested. Here is an Isekai. Sosai Saisuke no Isekai Ryokuki. This is an Isekai goes cooking, you know. This is one of those more like relaxed Isekai. They get a cute pet, some hot girlfriend, you know, and they just kind of hang out. Yeah. So this is similar to Tomono's kid we had earlier, right? He's just kind of like has a chill life. This is one of those wholesome Isekais with the character. You know, he's like, yeah, I'm just, you know, chilling out, fighting some stuff, and making cool food or whatever, going to the onsen, right? So, I mean, I would much rather watch this anime than the other one, right? This is also not, but in my opinion, in the trailers, doesn't look like an interesting anime either, right? It looks like kind of a, you know, mid, kind of chill Isekai. But I still rather watch this thing. It's just like a chill anime, right? You know what I mean? Compared to yet another, oh, I want revenge because they kicked me out because I'm a healer. Yeah. So this sounds better, but also doesn't sound very interesting, though. It's mostly just like, oh yeah, I find items and I chill around and I travel, and it's just kind of like, you know, wholesome. Not that interesting. Now this is yet another Isekai. Isekai. Cliche, vad är jag? Haha, vad ser dig, right? So it's like, you know, my dad is the hero, or legendary hero, and my mama is a spirit, you know. And I'm the daughter. Musume no Watashi wa ten, yeah, and I'm the genius daughter, right? So, yeah, she's like a scientist that's here. She dies, and her father is the hero, you know, her mom is a spirit, and she's like a super genius, and you know, it actually looks kind of cute, a little bit Spice Family over it. Like, but you know, she's kind of Anya, right? She's following. Yeah, where's all my Anyas? They're up here. There's all my. No, that's the. Here it is. All my Anyas. Yeah, all my Anyas. It's a little bit like Anya, honestly. Basically, you know, she's isekai right into this little girl, but you know, she's much smarter because she has to be a scientist, right? So not like Anya where she had mind reading, but you know, she's obviously much smarter than what she's supposed to be. Anya can read minds, right? So she can kind of, you know, do stuff that people don't expect, right? And then yeah, both her parents are like super powerful, and it's a little bit about them just having like some cute, wholesome family moments or whatever, right? So If it's a little bit like an Isekai Spy's family, contextualized. Not like, I wasn't doing spy stuff, but I mean, instead of being a spy, it's like dad is, a hero, he's a superhero warrior, and mom is like a spirit goddess thing or whatever, you know what I mean? So just like but you got a point. Like, both her parents are very, very powerful, and she's trying to use her, like, genius intellect to, help them in their struggles or whatever, right? So, yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. I mean, it's more interesting than the other one is. I was like, I was kicked out from the hero party or something, or I was betrayed by my friends in the dungeon. Yeah, this sounds more interesting. Oh, I'm an OP little girl trying to protect my family. Yeah, this sounds more interesting. Definitely. What's now then? Did I miss that maybe before? No. This this one actually pretty cute. I just didn't recognize the image first. I was like, what is this anime? Yeah, Kauno. So this anime here, it's a pretty cute anime. So you should go out check a trailer, guys. So it's basically about this girl that is, maybe I would almost say she's being bullied, but she basically has no emotions. She's like kind of, a very unemotional girl that never really does any impressions or doesn't change her face or whatever. And this guy is like trying to bully her, I guess, but he likes her. But he's trying to just be like, I'm gonna get her to do stuff. So you can see here, he's trying to hit her with water, but she also avoids his antics, right? He attacks her. She's like, I knew you were gonna do it. So she's like, oh, what? So it's basically this stuff, right? Where and then hits him in the face. So it's kind of the anime, right? So basically, this guy here is like a Bakugo. He's screaming at her or whatever, right? And he's very emotional, she's very unemotional, and his goal is to like get her to laugh or scream or something, but it never happens, right? And usually, of course, he has to eat it instead, He's trying to hit her with water, he misses, and he gets water in his face there, right? So it's like a rom-com, of course, because obviously he actually likes her, he has some date here and so on, right? Yeah, it's not an actual date, he obviously is in love with her, clearly, and he's just trying to like tease her to go out with her or something, but... So it's like a weird rom-com, and... you can see it here, and then they're having some kind of like basic date here, right? And then, yeah, what do you want and so on? So he obviously is in love with her, and he finds her adorable, but she has like no emotions or whatever. But I think she has the emotions though. It's more like she never shows them, right? She has no like, her face never changes or whatever. So, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a pretty cute anime. Like a pretty cute, adorable story bit. Here comes another I'm the last boss kind of thing, yeah. I was reading Isekai into the ultimate MMO gamer bad character. This sounds a little better though, but also cliche. So it's like I'm the last boss, right? It's like you're last boss. He dies, Isekai into his game, and he becomes the ultimate super demon lord, he becomes the Lich King, yeah. He becomes the ultimate guy, and he's trying to, of course, change the fate or whatever. So, yeah, sounds pretty good, but same thing all over again. As always, this is some weird supernatural comedy. This is the vampire can't suck correctly. Yeah, this is about like a vampire girl that can't drink blood from men correctly. She's like, she has issue with that. It's like a weird supernatural comedy. This is also weird. This is a Yuri anime. I will quick up speed now, guys. But yeah, Watashi no I'm being eaten, right? So this is a weird Yuri. I'm going to devour you. So this is like a mermaid Yuri anime. This sounds weird, but yeah, it's Yuri, right? It's girl anime. It's girl love, yeah, girl love, and it's like a mermaid or something. So she's gonna sleep with a mermaid. It's something weird. It's like, yeah, it's girls love, but it's like a mermaid. So it's a twist on it, It says here, yeah, she's dating like a mermaid, which I guess is hot or something. Yeah, I mean, sure, mermaids are attractive, you know what I mean. And of course they're mermaids because they only have women, I guess. Yeah, they're all lesbians, I guess. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. These are going. Oh my god, Ranma! They did, of course, it's called the opening reaction, right? It's published it last week, or this week, sorry, this week. But yeah, I love it, I'm a big fan of Ranma. That's it is here. What can I say? I mean, I have all the books. I've read it many times. I have, of course, seen every episode of original anime. So Ranma is one of my all-time favorite animes. I really love it, right? It's a fantastic anime, based, of course, on... Also based on, from the same author, of course, that made Space Invaders Lumens or like Urusei Yatsura and so on, remake or something. So yeah, like Ranma is one of my all-time favorite mangas growing up, right? Of course, I think I have to explain Ranma here, but it's a very famous anime manga. Right? Basically, the guy, of course, changed gender by hot and cold water. Except they did refer that to in Dandan this season, right? Which actually, to me, that was kind of surprising. I loved the episode Dandan, but surprising too because first it was clearly that Gigi changed evil and good side, evil side, good side with water, right? It's like Ranma. But then there was a moment that made me really laugh. There was a moment in Down when Gigi, then the character changing, said he started like humming the Ranma opening, you know. Then like yeah papa ishane ishane. It's the first opening of Ranma. He started doing that in the episode. I was like, what? That was, I mean, like I said, Ranma is very famous, very iconic, yeah. But I think that's really surprised me in Down. Like I said, obviously it's like, okay, this is obviously referring to that Ranma with the water thing, 100%, right? So I said in my reaction when I was watching it, it's like, oh yeah, it's obviously Ranma. And suddenly the cat is like, yeah, papa. So I was like, what? That blew my mind, man. That was like a very, very direct reference. Suddenly it turned into like homage, rather, yeah, straight up there. But yeah, super iconic anime about the guy changes gender, right? Then there's a bunch of girls that wants him. And of course also a bunch of men that wants him as, you know, in his female form, right? And then they are fighting and so forth, right? And they have Ryoga and Moose is coming in. Overall, obviously, Ukyo is in the corner there. I think that's one thing is different though here. They're clearly skipping a lot of episodes. And I don't think they're gonna go back to them later. So, for better or worse, this remake is clearly jumping over like a lot of chapters, right? So the original anime would basically be like a typical anime, right? Where they're animating every chapter, more or less, right? This is a little bit, but you know what I mean. So the original anime is very long, and they're animating hundreds of chapters, right? But here in the remake, they're clearly jumping over a bunch of like less important chapters. Which, I mean, I love Ranma, but to be fair, a lot of chapters around are just pure comedy. I mean, Ranma is a comedy, I'm wrong, but I mean, there are episodes, right? The chapters are much more dramatic for the actual relationship, and all the chapters have actual interesting fights and new power-ups and so forth, right? So Ranma has like a typical Ranma volume. Half the chapters are pure comedy, and again, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love the comedy in Ranma. I really, really love it. I really love Ranma. But the other half chapters are much more, you know, like main story bits, right? So they seem to like remove all those like pure common chapters and just focusing on the actual like the meat, right? Like the main chapters that are pushing the story forward. So I think a big difference here, especially in season 2, is this Ukyo then, which is the girl up here. She is coming in already, right? Because I'm pretty sure that in the original anime, she wouldn't appear in the first 20 episodes. She'd probably come in like episode 50, 40, something. Honestly, yeah, when does Ukyo appear? She has to appear very late. Maybe I'm just thinking that wrong, but I think she appears quite late, comparably. But I think it's a good example. It has it on Wiki, right? What episode does she actually appear in? Chapter 85, yeah, so that's kind of what I mean, right? She shouldn't appear in the episode 2, really. Doesn't say, let's see, what episode is it? Here it is, yeah, this is what I mean, right? That's what I'm saying. So, she appears in episode 41, right? Add order, yeah. Wonder what that thing is. What that thing? Nettohen, is that a new one? 23. Yeah, Ranma has another suitor, it's called, right? So Ranma has another girlfriend. What is that thing? Ranma Nettohen. Is that the new one? No? What is Ranma Net? Why is it called like that? What? Very confusing when I see that. But anyway, it's interesting. Look at that. They're changing the art. Yeah, that's the same. This is the Japanese thumbnail, basically, right? And in America, they had this thing. I wonder what they changed the art for. The text, obviously, they translated the text here, right? But why did they change it to Ranma, boy and girl Ranma? What happened to the Genma image? Yeah, I wonder why they did that thing. They removed, like, this here looks way worse. Like, it's like a yellow background. This will be interesting with the pen. Yeah, it's his father. But anyway, you get my point. So that would be episode 41, like I said, season 3, season 4, right? In the old school anime. So there's a big difference in the new anime. They obviously, I mean, if she appears in episode 41, right, in the original one, and this is episode 13, she won't appear probably immediately, of course, season 2, but also probably not in the last episode, right, because she's in the trailer a lot. She might appear in episode 5 or 6 or whatever, so then they have jumped, like, 28 episode, right, or something like that, yeah, so, sorry, but yeah, so, you get my point. She's like jumping 18, who knows, maybe they come back to those later, I don't really know, but they're jumping like 20 episodes, yeah, they're jumping something like that, right, so, I don't know, they might be worse, might be bad, but they also might reorder them a lot, so maybe they go back to them later or something. I'm just, that's a bit of a mystery for me here, see what happens. But since I read the manga several times, I probably pick up the difference. But yeah, but anyway, let's keep going. I love Ranma, but yeah, I think it's interesting how they're chasing it. So now it is like, oh no, we're eating food instead. I don't care. This is super boring. This actually looks pretty interesting. Actually, this anime. What's it called again? Kikinoku no Mari, so Robot Mari, right? So this anime. It's about a girl. She needs to have a job, right? She needs to be, how do I make money? She gets hired to be a maid, but he was a robot. Yes, she was a robot, but she isn't a robot. Okay, this actually is pretty interesting. This anime to me actually is pretty funny. So basically, she has to pretend to be a robot because the prince or like the rich guy, or whatever he is, but like, you know, the Odio, not Odio, but what's it called again? Man. Wakasama, the Wakasama guy, right? He hates humans or whatever, but he's into tech, so she gets hired, but she has to pretend to be like a robot, something. As you can find it here, she has to pretend to be like a machine, you know, and yeah. But of course, she actually is a human, and it gets this ridiculous comedy. He has to, here we go, she has to be an NPC, she has to walk into the corner and so on, yeah. But you know what I mean, she has to be like a bad robot. She has like, yes, I can only work here if I'm a robot, and of course it's gonna be, obviously it's a rom-com, because they're gonna have all these romantic moments, right, where he's trying to like figure out if she's a human or robot or not, and she's gonna be for love with him, right? But it sounds kind of ridiculous, yeah, kind of adorable. She's pretending to be a robot all the time and have to do robot stuff. So she's like, oh no, I'm stuck at the wall, yeah. So it's like, you know, no, I went in the wrong direction, master, yeah. Now this anime looks ridiculous though. Santa, yeah. No, this is why I love anime. Like, who wrote this stuff? Who wrote this? Who's the genius that come up with this storyline? We have all these isekais. Like, we have all these isekais, and then some guy is like, you know what? I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired of all this. Like, I was reborn. I was betrayed by my hero party. I'm a healer. This guy was like, sure that I make an anime about Santa Claus, and instead of being Santa, he's muscular Santa, but actually he's a kid, and he puts on red, then he transforms into Beef King Papa Santa, and he beats the bad guys up, and you're like, well, who came up with this shit? I love it. This is what I love it. They just make up whatever they want. What's happening? No, but seriously, right? It's a storyline about a guy. This kid basically, I don't know, like 15 or whatever, right? And when he puts on red clothing, he gets transformed into Super Santa. And Super Santa, he fights crime or something. I don't know. It's super weird. I love it. Oh, it's so stupid. Oh god, it's so insane. And then there's some other premise that, you know, this is like future Japan, and there are few children being born or something. So I guess he is Super Santa, that's to protect the kids, right? Yeah, he's like, there's so few kids now, he has to save them or something. Yeah, the children are treasured by the society. So I guess Super Santa's goal is to protect all the... he's 14, yeah. So he's 14 and then he becomes like a 75-year-old but muscular Santa, yeah. So his power is to transform into an old man that's very ripped. Like, this is so stupid. I love it. Oh, it's so stupid. I'm almost gonna watch it. It comes in a few days from now. I'm almost gonna watch it. Oh my god. Oh, PA Works. No, I hate them. There are a few shows that I actually like from PA Works, but PA Works to me has been an incredible failure of a studio, right? But I did like, for example, my like a Punch and so on. So they aren't terrible, but PA Works had for a few years, they will do these like visually pretty good looking animes, right? Original anime. It's not based on the manga, this is too, but they will never be good at ending them. You know, like World in Color. Terrible ending. Oh my god, terrible ending, man. she goes back in time or something, and nothing really matters. Oh, so bad. So I kind of hated most of PA Works animes over the years. So, like I said, there are a few exceptions that I liked, and I think I liked them in the past, you know, back in the good old days, right? You know, back in the days, like Charlotte. So yes, I liked their animes, but you have to remember Charlotte's 15, right? So I like PA Works and Basic Horses. They're famous for it. So I like their. I think people like that anime absolutely, but another terrible ending, of course, insane terrible ending as a manga original, but still, this also wasn't very impressive. This anime was terrible. Yeah, it was just dog shit, man. Not a very good anime. Or it was not so terrible, but it was a bad anime. Wait, did they accept the Loafer? Okay, fine, they accept the Loafer. Okay, that was amazing. But it also isn't the original, though, to be fair, no. It's the original PA Work stuff. Yeah, but that was okay. That was okay anime. That was okay. This here is terrible. This anime is so disappointing. Incredibly bad ending, yeah. Where's Jaeger? This anime also got a manga, but honestly, it's a good anime. A lot of people love it because it's all ba 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 ba. But actually, let's be honest here, no one has seen this show, okay? Everyone that say they like the show, they like the opening, yeah. They like the opening, you know. She's like, no, yeah. They like the opening. I think almost no one has actually seen the show. I think the actual show was not good, okay? Not a good show. It was just a very mid show. The actual anime, right? The opening is very popular. This yet another kind of whatever. Yeah. Then we got some bonus Charlotte stuff. This also is a pretty terrible show. Since Jaeger attitude, also disappointing show. Very boring. Yeah, it had a terrible ending. It looked visually good, but so I keep saying it. Original anime PA Works, man. They are goddamn death scare, man. They're death scaring it. Jesus Christ, you know. Fairygon. Oh, they were so bad. Fairygon maybe is probably the worst one. Fairygon is so bad. I can't believe I've watched anime. I can't believe I've watched this anime. My God, I regret wasting my life on this anime. It was so bad. It was so boring. It had interesting fights sometimes, but oh my God, it was so badly written. So Fairygon, right? When they have this war with the Fairygon, it's so terrible. So everything is like German names or whatever, European names. They kind of rename a little bit. It's like Berlin, it's like Berlinka or something, yeah, whatever. But they have these moments in the middle of the episode 1 where they're going to fight different countries. And nothing makes any sense because they never, ever, ever in this anime explain the world map or like how countries or whatever. So it's like, yeah, oh yeah, this country taking this country, they're coming up there, the North is coming up there. And they start just rambling all these names, like, oh, Berlinka, this thing, and Brüssel or whatever, it's coming over here or whatever. But no one is explaining anything, and nothing makes any sense whatsoever. It's just it's incredibly bad anime. Like, straight up. Probably the worst anime they ever made. Yeah, it even has lower rating, you know. It's hard to get lower than 7. People are way too nice when they review anime. Massively so. But yeah, this anime was also terrible. Oh God, it was boring. It was so badly paced anime. Anyway, I'm bored with this thing. So my long point is that I have a very hard time having trust for this 2-1 no Yugen here. Because it's an original anime from PA Works. And most of the original animes are terrible since the last like 10 years, right? Sure, like I said, they're famous for like Charlotte and so on, right? But Charlotte, you know, over a decade ago, right? Yeah, it's not like they have done any really impressive original anime. Even though something I liked Minor Punch, but it was like, yeah, it was a good anime. It was like funny. It was a good comedy. But it wasn't like, oh my God, they're changing my life or whatever. So I don't know, guys. I said it before, I said it again. I have a very hard time with PA Works for the last maybe a decade or so. Now it's just like we have a rice store. Who cares? Now this anime looks saucy though. This is like it's anime. Summer Night could touch just like couldn't. Okay, this is about, you can see it here. It's like a bunch of waifu, a bunch of girls like sitting in a weird position. She's staring at the camera. Oh, it's porn, right? This is an anime about a guy that's to live with these women or something like that, and he's gonna, you know, like he's like a masseuse something. He has to give them massages, and they're all like volleyball pro players or something. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's an anime about a guy that has to give the female characters, you know, a massage, right? Because they're hardcore. Yeah, they're like elite. Oh, she's like the best soccer player or something, or she's the best basketball player in the country, she's the best volleyball player, look at her oppa, you know, she's the best swimmer, right? He has to give them like a massage after they have, you know, done some competition, you know. And that is life basically. He has to give these different female characters massages. Yeah, it's an ecchi anime. Jesus Christ, man. He's like the coach for all this. Like, it's just not so dirty. These anime is gonna be, I think they have an actual, 2 different versions. Like one is straight up hentai. Like one is gonna be a lot of nakedness. This anime is like, okay, yeah, this is ecchi anime to the extreme. And then we have a bunch of, I think we're in the bottom now. Yeah, this is like a dance anime. Van Dance. It looks pretty meh, I think. The actual dances are pretty like, you know, 3D graphic modeling. It looks, in my opinion, terrible. Isekai Quartet! Finally! So cool, this is the best anime of all time. We have all the cool Isekai characters. They are coming in on the same time. This is gonna be the best new anime. Come on, guys, this is the best anime of the season. Look at all these characters. We got Aqua here, obviously the best waifu. We got, you know, Megumin, Darkness, Kazuma, a bunch of other characters we don't care about now, but it's it is Konosuba, of course. It is a 0, and we're gonna have Sid coming in now. So we're gonna have Alpha and Beta and so on as well, of course. Tanya's gonna be there, and etc. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I love Isekai Quartet. I love the movie. I think it is one of the best comics of time. I really, really love Isekai Quartet. It's hilarious, and also, of course, we will have a Seiya, right? And of course, the start so on will also be in the anime. They were in the last season, right? But they were hiding. They started in the anime, and Seiya refuses to be on camera, right? Because he's too cautious. So they're also gonna be in the anime, and the started's gonna have more actual scenes where Seiya will still probably hide from the camera. So, like, but it's funny. But overall, though, right? I love Konosuba, and I think it's a Quartet. It is most of a Konosuba show, right? It's similar comedy Konosuba, and yeah, it's just really, really hilarious. And we're gonna see how, of course, Sid acts. Oh, also, of course, Nafumi to do. Yeah, Nafumi, of course, is gonna be there too, right? Nafumi and Sid gonna fight and so on, right? So that is awesome. But look at all those characters, man. So I look forward to it. It's gonna be awesome, really epic, man. But yeah, it's only like 10 minutes, I think, per episode, that short form. Yeah. So and there's it is. It's in there in the corner with Emilia. Yeah, and I guess of course, the main character here, right? So it's like Tanya, Kazuma, you know, Subaru. Yeah, we see the main guys. And then we see this Alpha, Nestor of Talia, right? So see some of the Erish. Yes, Krish or Eris. I don't see anyone else hit Alpha though. But I'm sure they're gonna be like Alpha, Beta, and Delta's gonna be there with their crazy muscles, yeah. I'm sure we're gonna have the other. Oh, there's Delta, right? Yeah, there she is. She's screaming there. Delta is there, yeah. She's the one that's having the trombone, of course. Of course she is. I call it, man. There's, there she is. Yeah. So we have the Sid harem character. There's Beta. There she is. Yeah. So of course you're gonna have the different. Oh, so it's on the camera. Yeah. Okay. So Beta is that's a rem. Okay. So you can't see Beta. Sorry for that. She's on the very edge of the corner next to a rem there. She's standing like here. And the Delta's one. Yeah. So of course, it's Yun. Yun is in the far corner. For some reason. That's so terrible. It's so terrible. Oh no, it's so terrible. I pointed out that the Yun is like on the very far edge, and she's falling off. Yun is like, no, it's too many characters. Yeah, Yun is like getting kicked out of the anime. I wanna be in it too. Oh god, it's so mean, man. They're like, Yun can't be in the anime. No, it's too many characters now. You only have room for one one extra whistle character. Oh my god. Oh, poor Yun. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Sensei Gintama. This is pretty good. This is pretty good, yeah. It's got a spin-off, right, on Gintama, where he is a sensei instead. Gin is a sensei, and obviously all the different students are characters from the anime, right? And for example, spoilers, but this woman, she likes Gin, right? So now instead she has a sensei fanfiction. She's like into senseis now instead, and so on, right? So I think it's gonna be fun. But you probably have to have actually seen the original Gintama, maybe not all episodes, but you probably need to know all the characters, because you probably won't introduce them or explain them, right? It's gonna assume that you probably know who everyone is, right, and how they act and their behavior are, and so on. And yeah, this is a rom-com about a crazy guy. Romance between I say it, like a introvert and extrovert. He's very active, she's very, shy and so on, and he gets hurt, and she's like trying to calm him down. So yeah, pretty decent romcom. Looks like a decent romcom. This here's another kind of Spike's family show. Let's see a pretty thing. Alma-chan. So basically, Alma-chan is an anime where these two scientists, right? They build this super advanced AI that's self-learning, so that becomes Skynet later. But they build some kind of super advanced AI, right? And they're gonna raise the AI as their own kid, right? Because he has to learn and whatever, learn the reality and so on. But of course, the AI is like, oh, you're my parents, right? Yeah, you're my parents now, right? Because you're raising me. That's how humans think. And they are, I guess. But these are actually used to, they are of course romantically involved, right? They just happen to team up to build this robot girl. But she thinks they're her parents, so they have to act as her parents, right? And now they're obviously, it's like a rom-com then, how they're gonna fall in love having to raise this like little robot girl. So I think it is actually really good. I think it's really good. Yeah, it's like they're obviously gonna have like a romance, and she's like kind of an Anya or whatever, a little girl that they have to protect, a little rangish morning, yeah. A small little character they have to protect, right? And they're obviously gonna be fall in love with each other, so on, doing this romance thing. And it's pretty good. Now this is another like weird looking romance anime. I don't care, guys. I don't care. This is the same anime so earlier. And then not even Musum anime. This anime here is really strange. It looks like Girls Last Tour already. I'm pretty sure I already have seen this anime. Yeah, it's like Shumatsu no Touring. So it's two girls going around in like a dystopian fallen planet. I think I've seen this anime before, but they had a tank instead. Yeah, this seems like an anime that already exists, right? But yes, it looks way more colorful. Like it looks way, way more colorful. But it looks a lot like an anime I've already seen. And they're just gonna drive around on this bike and go to different places in the world, right? But nothing probably happens. And then you have Conan as well. And then we have furry anime. This anime is so goddamn furry, man. This is just B-stars. She's dating, But I like that this is how it usually is, right? It's like a woman, and she's dating the hot wolf guy. Yeah, it's very, very rare that we see the other direction, right? It's the woman, of course, smashing the wolf dude. Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's a furry anime. Let's be honest, it's a furry anime. I don't even talk about it. Then this is the guy that loves Kamen Rider. It's been interesting. I think there's kind of 8 guys for this season. There are some more. Yeah, Digimon is coming back, right? There's some other animes, kind of children stuff underneath here. Pokemon and so on coming back, right? Digimon I probably will check out though. Yeah, I'll probably check it out. Kingdom's coming back. What? Yeah, Kingdom, is that far down? Honestly surprises me. Yeah, this is surprising. I mean, obviously those Kingdom is they're fighting and so on, but I mean, surprising me is the 6th season and it's so down here. Because the 6th season I expected it to actually be popular. They keep doing it, right? They keep producing it forever. So, this anime is really weird. Not to be that guy, but this is a very interesting main character view. Definitely unique. It's another rom-com, kohai, shohai, so to speak, workplace romantic. But obviously the main girl has her own gravity. So it's, but I'm honestly surprised by the show because she looks very special, right? Very different than anime usually. In Japan, fat shaming is like Japanese culture is very like fat shaming. So I don't know who's gonna watch it, but this is basically in the bottom now. This is like the least popular anime coming out, and I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, okay, this is the least popular anime coming out, and it happens to have a very, very big main character. Yeah, I'm not saying anything like that. No, but honestly, she looks terrible. Not because she's a big girl. But I mean, that art looks just terrible, right? That to me looks really strange. How the author has drawn her. With like the face is like a giant blob and then they have tiny glasses or whatever. It's just weird. Yeah, it looks like the parody of like the otaku from the 70s or whatever. The classic, super fat otaku with like this glass thing and the bandana or whatever. Yeah, it looks very strange, honestly. So, to me, it's just kind of not very interesting to look at. Anyway, shorter guys, let's go over the movies. I am, of course, gonna watch it myself. I haven't time to watch it yet, because I was gone last week and so on, right? So I'm gonna watch it, like, probably next week, yeah. because I really want to see the course. I mean, I just watched Demon Slayer, right? Yeah, so basically I watched Demon Slayer just before I went to UK. That was like the thing I did just before I flew there. And I saw this was in the theaters, and also got Demon Slayer and so on, but I couldn't have time to watch it then. So yeah, I look forward to it a lot. The Rese arc, I course have done reaction and reviews right to the opening and ending, which are really good. And I really look forward to watching this movie, absolutely. And do it as soon as I have time, as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna do it, absolutely. This is a Kaiser movie, but this is just like another. This is one of those things where they're kind of milking it, right? Where they're making a movie of the anime. So this is just season 2 again, but they're like, making it higher quality and with some extra scenes. Yeah, this is so uninteresting to me, right? When they just like adding it in for the 3rd season, and they're gonna add, yeah, it's gonna be like a little bit of the 3rd season. So this is how this Demon Slayer did it first. Yeah, this is basically it's so annoying, right? But you know what I mean. They're basically making, they're basically doing like how to explain it, right? They're basically doing the end of season 2, right, as a movie, the last fights or whatever, and then they're also adding like one or two episodes of like season 3, right? So people are gonna go and watch the anime just to watch the first 2 episodes, and then they're gonna release them, next year when the anime starts anyway. But it's kind of a weird way to like make people pay to watch like the first hour, right? It's gonna be the same thing you already seen, and the second half, that half hour or whatever, will be the new episode. Yeah, they did the same thing with Demon Slayer, right? They were kind of like, oh, here's this season, and there's one more episode of the Mitsurugi running in the staircase scene. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just cheap. Now this is a movie I really want to see. I watched it come out immediately. I love it. Zombie-led Sega. I love Zombie-led Sega. It's a fantastic anime, right? Obviously Saki is best girl and so on. So they're gonna have this like oh my god, I'm excited, guys. It's gonna be awesome. Zombie-led Sega movie. It's gonna be epic, man. I would love to have a new season though, but no, this is good, man. They're gonna have higher quality anime. Oh my god, there's the Yankee girls. Yeah, there's the Yankee girls. They like Saki. There's a little crew of the annoying Yankee chicks and so on. It's gonna be awesome. Come on. Oh, it looks good, man. It looks good, man. No, there's a cop that was system. There's a cop guy down there that was like finds them doing zombie stuff as well. Oh, it is epic. This is the same thing here, right? This is like Chainsaw Man movie or something. Just like it's Mappa Man. They're like, have to make more money. This is Chainsaw Man the first season. This is the only other anime movie coming out here. Hot Stuck in Scarlet, which is a time traveling anime. So maybe a good movie. It's like only unique movie really coming out. But yeah, the just kind of thing. It's like, we're gonna make a movie which is like 99% the same thing again. Then this is like Disney anime thing that looks really weird. You hear this? So this like a Disney anime coming out, but it's made in Disney style. I don't really get it, honestly. It's like an anime adaptation of Disney mobile games and something, and it's like, okay, what Disney is it based on? Is it games itself? I'm confused, man. But yeah, it's like an 8-episode anime too. They're making an anime about some Disney game or something. Then we have the Geekig anime that already come out or whatever. I didn't even watch it. I had so little care for that guy. I was like, whatever, it's gonna be terrible. Oh yeah, and then lastly, here I'll say the last bit. Golden Kamuy, right? So Golden Kamuy is coming out as like an OVA or something. Direct video, yeah. So they're gonna this I think will be unfortunately the last bit of Golden Kamuy, and they're gonna make it some kind of OVA thing. So I love Golden Kamuy, right? It's a fantastic anime. It's one of the best I've seen in my life. It's a really, really good show. But Golden Kamuy is struggling with stuff like there was something really terrible, like the director died or something. There's no wrong here, but Golden Kamuy season 3, right, had issues, and it really got a break for a few months or whatever, got a half-month break, middle of airing it, because the guy, I think the main guy behind it, not the author of the manga, but like the anime director, I think he died, like in a car, something crazy like that. It's like super terrible, yeah, rest in peace. And then that, of course, kind of stopped them from making it. See if I can find here, but I think that happened and the director died, I think. It was like a terrible accident. Yeah, so they had to restart the 4th season. Because he was like the official director or something. So you can find it here. But it is like a long backstory here. It's in Japanese, okay. Let's show you guys. Yeah, so that's Rest in Peace, right? So that was like really terrible. So it was like, yeah, one of like the main staff. They saw his main staff member, but it was like the director. He just like, you know, they didn't want to say his name, right? They didn't want to like when it happened here. So that was a terrible thing there. And then they kind of postponed the production and so on in that 4th season. So the anime hasn't really been done after that and so on. So yeah, that was like a really terrible thing that happened there. And let's see what's saying more here. Yeah, exactly. So I remember it. I love this anime, right? And I remember it. That the poor guy. If it was true that I read at the time, he died in a car accident. Rest in peace to the director. But it never said his name though, so I don't even. It never said his name. But anyway, so I think he died and then he stopped doing it after episode 43 or something like that. So they just didn't like finish the anime. But anyway, then I digress. Coming back to this is what I believe this is about, then, right? If I answer correctly, this episode's coming out as an OVA. Because when animes are coming out as OVAs and UNAs, also called UNAs, they're not the same thing, but they're basically the same. In these days, UNA and OVA is basically the same thing, right? But basically it's like direct to consumer. It doesn't air on TV, right? But it also means that you can release them whenever you want. So I think this is kind of what this thing. They're gonna publish the episodes that was supposed to come out before he died, then, right? Like he was gonna direct, right? They're gonna come out now, I believe. It's a kind of like bonus spin-off. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong one. No, but there are 2 different Golden Kamuys though. That one is, yeah, sorry. So there are 2 Golden Kamuy in the list there. So there's bonus episodes, but I also believe there is like a movie or something. So this is like a double thing, confusing, sorry. Let's go down a bit. Here it is, sorry. There are 2 different Golden Kamuys, yeah. So they're coming out with one thing, continuing after that thing, and a little bit that they didn't have time to air that next month, and they're also coming out with the bonus episodes. That was also happening in season 4. So it's a little mixture of that, but yeah, it's a little confusing. This is 2 episodes, right? So they're coming out with like these different side things that they didn't have time to kind of make them, right? And like I said, I think a big difference is that when you're making OVAs and so on, right, you can kind of just do them whenever you want, right? So if that never happened, maybe this episode would have been out, last year or whatever, or season 5 or so forth, right? They would have maybe like, the next season and so on early, right? So that's one way to also kind of go over it. You see that in some different animes, right? So I kind of release it. But anyway, so I like Golden Kamuy. Still, of course, happy that they're still producing it, of course. But yeah, this will do a very quick conclusion of the animes, right? That I think will be epic. One Punch Man, of course, and 3, I believe. I think kind of like a Shikata, I'm still watching it. Spy's Family, of course, amazing. This is my main show, right? This, and of course, Academia. Obviously, One Piece goes on forever. But that being said, though, One Piece last week, amazing. 10th episode, the Gorosei. I will do a reaction later tonight after this stream, because yeah, I really do love when the Gorosei up here. So it's a peak part of Achid Island now, so that's really epic. Pretty good anime. This is also my favorite anime, My Academia. Final season, probably not full 10 episodes, but yeah, excited for that. Not excited for an assassin anime. Win anime. Sounds pretty good. Don't recommend Togen Anki. Actually, this thing, yeah, it's a revenge anime, but summoning little girl, summoning waifu card, something, it's kind of weird. Nata, man, that's dead to me, Jesus Christ, man. More happening. Yeah, here she is. This is my waifu, easily Scarlet. Yeah, crazy brawler waifu. Definitely gonna be my favorite woman, probably. Next season, actually a pretty good show. Genuinely pretty good show, actually. Wedding Rings, another romcom senpai, and this one I think is a dark horse. I actually think it's really interesting, right? What's called again? Shitoshi-kun, yeah, like trying to get this, Hikamori outside. So I bring the cute girls with me and try to pull him out of his house. Look at this cute girl. She's doing the heart to you. Don't you want to kiss her? But that's interesting. I think it might be interesting anime. Yeah. And then also, of course, further down, Isekai Quartet, right? This is probably my anime, guys. Anyway, guys, leave a subscribe, press the like button, touch tweet and so on. And I guess I'll see you guys soon. Then I can watch with the One Piece episode, right? Because last week in One Piece was really, really good. It was fantastic. It was not only is the actual bit in the manga also good, it's like the most dramatic moment of the arc, right? All the bad guys are coming, but it was just fantastically animated. It was arguably the best animated episode of One Piece of all time. I wouldn't say best of all time in animated, but it's like top 10 at least. Yeah, in all the episodes of One Piece, right, or 1,000 episodes, that is probably in the top 10. I think so easily. And everyone so yeah, it was one of the best episodes One Piece has ever had. So I'm excited to see today if it keeps the same quality. And I think it will. It is maybe 1 or 2 more episodes. Then it probably goes down because it's the Vegapunk speech. But I think it will keep going for a bit more. That was very impressive. I was very impressed. Even the Zoro fight had really good animations. So it was a 10 episode last week. It was really, really fantastic. I really liked it. It airs now in like 2 hours from now. I'm gonna hit the gym now, guys.